discuss the main topic for today's show, which is the look, when I titled this video and a podcast, the quarterback battle.
There he is. There's my guy.
I feel like a lot of people are thinking there's no quarterback battles. It's Hartman's job. So I don't think we're so much here to debate that, unless we are. But I think the debate is more about, should Notre Dame start Buckner, not will they start Buckner. Goolsby, we'll go to you first, because I think we all kind of know where you stand on this, and then Tim Hyde has been flopping back and forth like a fish on this one. So I'm interested to hear where his current take stands on this.
Yeah, you're right about Tim. My contention with this whole quarterback situation is, yes, there's going to be a competition, right? But what are the criteria of said competition? My biggest beef with this whole thing is, as Freeman had come out previously and said, we need experience at the quarterback position. And as I said this on a previous episode, their singer was like, if that's top 2, top 3 criteria in terms of what these coaches are going to base this competition off of, if experience is one of those things, Tyler's screwed. So I would like to know, going into spring, based off of this competition, what is that criteria? Like, what are the 4 or 5 metrics that we're going to use to evaluate these two? That's my issue. One of my issues. And then the big thing that this has kind of morphed into, Tim, where I think you kind of come to my side, is 2023 versus 2024. So we're going to go all in on 2023 with a rental quarterback, sixth year player in Sam Hartman for what? And then you're basically starting over. Ostensibly, you're starting over in 2024. And Tyler's so unique in that, the kid has no experience. He has very little experience in high school. He's played just a smattering of games throughout his career at Notre Dame. And it's if that kid needs anything, it's game reps, based off of what I can see watching him play. Is he's anxious. He rushes things. He looked much more calm and composed, relaxed in the bowl game. And it's man, that was, encouraging. And it's just I just feel like the upside is there with Buckner. I feel like Sam Hartman is much more of a finished product. I think that's almost inarguable. And I just think the upside at the position is with Tyler. And I think the upside for the program, gentlemen, is with Tyler, as I believe you kind of ramp up to 2024 being the year. That's where I'm at.
Tim?
Yeah, this whole debate started. I know when Goolsby and I, were chit-chatting.
I got hot, dude. I was hot because I felt like people were writing Tyler off.
Was that during the Michigan game, or was one of those?
It was. I texted you guys, be like, all right, boys.
Yeah. Mike muted us, but then we went on our own. So no, it was. Because I know you got mad at me when I think it was after the post game.
I called you a fake Notre Dame fan. Yeah, I was hot.
Yeah. Yeah, you were fired up. No, it was the Gator Bowl. The Gator Bowl, when Singer was like, hey, what's your take on Hartman? And I was like, well, he's the starting quarterback.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. And I know that made you mad, and even other Notre Dame fans. Well, there's got to be a competition. Listen, you're not bringing in a 6-year senior. Number one, I've always been stunned. I can't believe I still can't believe he's at Notre Dame. I thought for sure this whole 6-year thing, I still can't understand why you want to play college football for 6 years. But
NIL money.
True. But I thought it was I always thought he was going to go to the NFL. He's going to make a team. He's a damn good quarterback. He's going to make a football team and start working his way up. And the fact that he's at Notre Dame, he's going to be the guy. So whatever, it's going to be a fake competition. Oh, the guys are working. Parker's Coach Gino, all these guys are going to get up there. Oh, they're working hard. We know it's going to be Hartman, because if Hartman's not the starting quarterback, he's gone after spring. Mm-hmm. He'll just call up an SEC team and say, hey, who needs a quarterback? He'll go play for one of those guys, or he'll go to if the NFL – does the NFL still do the old supplemental draft? I don't know if they do after the draft. So he could go those options. And then this whole thing, I totally agree with Goolsby. And you and I really never got into this whole thing. Is is with 2024. Because I'm telling you guys, all these people we're talking about, on the message board and with each other and stuff like that is, well, Buckner, Notre Dame can't go 8-4 again because he could get injured. Well, then what the hell is going to happen in 2024? He's the same quarterback, right? So can he hurt his shoulder again in 2024? So now you're just going to go with Minchie and Steven Jelly. Those two guys are going to get as many reps as us three combined this year. They're going to be on the prep squad, on the scout team, because they're going to be Hartman, trying to hype him up for the Heisman, and Buckner, his second team. So Angeli and Minchie are done. Enjoy your, red shirt, Angeli back-to-back red shirts. And then CJ Carr's coming in. I mean, come on. I mean, Mike Goolsby, I would love to hear Mike talk about playing at Notre Dame with a true freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There with Brady Quinn is not easy. It is not easy. So the whole 2024, I'm in agreement with Goolsby. Number one, all these wide receivers are coming back outside of the Caleb Smith guy. They're all coming back. So why didn't Freeman and these guys and them just let's use these quarterbacks? The entire offense can come back in 2024.
Tim, let me
Every
stop you.
single
Tim.
guy can come back.
So you would start Tyler Buckner this year?
Yeah, why not? I know. Hey, I never. This whole we have to have a quarterback. Why do you have to? No one's ever really answered this question other than, well, you can't play Pine. Well, he started 10 games. You can't play Buckner. He's going to get injured. Well, then what in the world's going to happen in 2024? Seriously, if Buckner bolts after this spring, then obviously it's Minchie and Jelly are going to battle for backup. But and this is where I'm 1,000 agreement with Goolsby, what is Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame football going to do at quarterback in 2024? You could have an entire offense returning and a quarterback who's down on the scout team.
You're starting over at the quarterback, but if you don't find a way to keep Tyler invested, interested, continued development in 2023, you are basically starting over in 2024 with three inexperienced quarterbacks and a bunch of experience around them. For what? For 2023. And it's like that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, okay, we're going to go all in on for Sam Hartman in 2023, and it's unfair. Again, it's intellectually dishonest because people online will be like, oh, well, if you play Buckner, you're going to lose 4 games. It's like, based off of what? Like, you can't, like Miss Cleo, you got a crystal ball. Like, you can't, you're just pulling that out of your ass. And then I'm sitting there going like, what's Hartman ever won? What's he ever won? I know he's put up a bunch of statistics, but he's been doing it for 5 years, right? And then, like I said, I mean, I don't pretend to be like quarterback whisperer, but I can watch a game and be like, man, I know Tyler's a better player and he's more accurate than he misses some of these dinks and dunks, and that's just because he's rushing. It's his 3rd, 4th start, I need to see the level of criticism that Tyler's taken when Sam Hartman comes out and plays a poor game. Like, I can't wait. And I'm rooting for Sam if he ends up being the starter. But you got to sit there and go, what are we going to risk in 2023 versus 2024? Mike, your sources seem to believe that, like, we're a championship team this year. I don't believe that. And maybe they only believe that because you brought in Sam Hartman, but he's just one piece. I don't believe that.
2 things in the comments. Like, one guy says, well, we're going to score enough points and the backups will play. When has Notre Dame done that in ages? I mean, Notre Dame does not blow people out by 5 touchdowns to play all the backups. And then someone posted up here earlier, one of the guys that did the super chat, well, Angeli and Minchie are going to be developed. How are you going to be developed running, Navy's offense or Tennessee State? They're not getting reps with the varsity. They're going to get a couple in the spring to get their feet wet, but that's it. They're not getting any in camp. They're going
Tim, development is like probably a word that's way overused, and like, how do you really truly define development? And I played at a high level, and it's like, and I'm playing linebacker, and it's like, okay, there's practice speed and there's game speed. There's game speed on the road, night game, week 1 at the Horseshoe, playing Ohio State, and then there's like playing Marshall at home. Like but I'm just telling you, at the quarterback position, a marquee position, you have to freaking get game reps to develop, period. Like, end of story, So it's like you're going to put Tyler on the shelf, discount anything he did in that bowl game. And then I'm like a big locker room guy, fellas, and like, Tyler's been busting his ass, fought through injuries, X, Y, and Z. Like, he's one of us. Now we get this like handsome rental quarterback that's like coming in and like, we're just going to give him the keys to the car. Like, I got a problem with that as a leader in a locker room. Me personally, I'm always going to want to get behind my guy personally. That's another element that I don't think is ever really discussed here.
May I?
Yeah,
yes, please.
You guys know the term, or I haven't heard this saying in a while, ever since you could play 4 games and still redshirt. But before, people would always say, if you redshirt a guy, you're just redshirting him for the next coach. It's like, because coaches have such short shelf life. Excuse me. For me, it's like I'm thinking along the same lines. Dude, I can't worry about 2024 that much. Like, I got to win in 2023. And if Hartman is the best quarterback for this team, I want to win in 2023. Especially if the staff thinks that like they have a fantastic team this year. They think they're going to a college football playoff game, which is what I've been told. I think you have to go with Hartman. And look, all like Alabama, right? They don't have Bryce Young anymore. What are they doing? They're starting over. This is a thing. Unless you want to take a transfer every single year, you're going to have to start over, and you're just going to have to trust that you are developing. And yes, I said that word. I still think it's a real thing. I was told that, this is from my Notre Dame sources, that Sam Hartman coming to Notre Dame is the best thing that could happen to Tyler Buchner and Steve Angeli, so they can watch him be a pro and learn. Okay? That's
Mike,
what I'm told.
You're so sweet. Like, you're so sweet when it comes to this stuff. I think you're like, you get info, and like, I'm not saying you shouldn't take it as gospel, but maybe you shouldn't take it as gospel. And like, yes, Alabama had Bryce Young, who might be, top 5, number 1 pick, you name it, whatever. Of course they're starting over, but they had Bryce Young in the program and got to that point, and then rinse, wash, repeat, or whatever, right?
Right. So Buchner,
what are we going to have a guy that's been a starter for 2-3 years? You know what I mean? That's like legit. And I think you might have that guy in Tyler.
If it's Hartman, Buchner can be the guy next year, or if he wants to transfer because he's not the guy, then you develop further, or you bring in another transfer. Like, I think you have to concern yourself a little bit with 2024, right? You can't just finish the 2023 season and be like, oh crap, what are we going to do now? But I think your majority of your focus has to be on now.
But the whole
real quick, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was going to say, for me, everything changes next year. Okay. I've been following Notre Dame forever. It's year 3s are big. Okay. Year 3s are big. It's just true in the history of Notre Dame football. I mean, they're big. Next year is the expanded playoffs. 12 teams. All right. The expanded playoffs. Notre Dame's TV contract's up the following year, right? So it'll probably be done before next year or whatnot. What is more important? Making a run this year in year 2, or getting in the 12 next year? And I'm telling you, you break this thing down however anyone wants to do it, there's really only going to be 2 spots every year, because the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get 8 of them. They just are. They're going to suck those things up. The Power Five's got 5. The Group of 5 is number 6. You get 2 SEC, 2 more Big Tens. There's 10 spots. Notre Dame is going to be battling for 2 wild cards. And I'm telling you, 2024 is huge. So I get the Hartman thing. This is what when I was arguing with Goolsby when we first started all this. I get the Hartman thing. I get it. Go all in this year. Right. I understand that. But just because you get Sam Hartman doesn't guarantee you 11-1, 12-0.
But it does. But according to everybody else, Tim,
neither does
everybody else, it does.
Buchner doesn't guarantee anything.
Whoa. Hold on.
He's so injury prone.
Okay. So this is where the argument is going to start getting going.
Here we go.
So the whole thing with the Buchner thing, I totally get that. I completely understand that thing. But what are the law of averages? Goolsby's took calculus at Notre Dame. It's like, what? Now maybe not. But anyway, pre-algebra, but we'll go from there. So, I mean, but seriously, what are the odds of getting hurt 2 full years in a row for him? And if he's not the guy, then Mike, if he's not the guy, so basically they really don't trust him to play this year. That's why they brought Hartman in. Let's just be honest. They don't think he's the guy. So what does that do for 2024? You're going to start from scratch. And I bet you $5 are going to have to get another transfer. They are.
And if they win football games, if they do really well in 2023 and 2024 at the transfer, I'm fine, Tim. I'm fine with bringing another transfer.
There you go. So Mike Singer is the recruiting coordinator. It's like, who cares when you start posting about quarterback recruits? You guys are already talking about 2025 recruits. Who cares? Who cares? He's not going to play at Notre Dame.
None of them are ever going to play.
They're not going to play. CJ Carr will not play because of a transfer. Now you just keep this, hamster wheel continually going. And it's like, when does it end?
It's definitely so.
The Jack Cohn thing, Jack Cohn, I totally understood. Totally understood why Cohn had to came in, because Jakovic and it was only Pine and Buckner. I totally understood Jack Cohn. This year, and you could have had a competition in the spring. I mean, this whole obviously Hartman's here because Freeman made this decision, right after Stanford, or excuse me, the USC game was the last game this year after USC. So that's why Pine got out of Dodge. They had already made their decision where there was, of what they were going to do next year. So, and now it's up to Buckner. So if Buckner bolts,
I think Singer, Tim, we all agree the biggest knock on Tyler is probably twofold, maybe 2.5. Injury is number one, right? We all agree in terms of knocking Tyler. Do you agree, Mike?
I wouldn't say that's number one, but continue.
Okay, what's number one? Play along. What's number one?
Accuracy, decision making.
Okay. So fine. If that's number one, I would say that improves with game reps. If the injury history is number two, stop running him like a quarterback, right? Number three, inexperience. Okay, now we're getting into pettier things. Nobody has ever told me what Hartman's flaws are. Still to this day, I don't know what his flaws are. He's infallible. So it's like, if we're going to have an honest debate, and I'm not, pointing the finger at you, Mike, but it's like, if we're going to have a debate, it comes back to what I'm talking about earlier. Like, what is the criteria to judge or assess these quarterbacks? It's like, we know what Tyler's shortcomings are for sure. And I'll grant you those. What are Sam's? The guy walks on water. He needs the 6th year. I don't know, man. It just seems a little bit messy.
So you guys are saying the only way for Buckner to show his talent, just play Buckner, right? Where I'm saying the same thing, but about after 2023. Just play Buckner in 2024. Get him reps. Play him in 2024. Or if he goes, play Minchie, play Angeli. So I'm saying the same thing as you guys, but for 2024. Whoever the quarterback is, and that's the best man, play him and let him learn in 2024. So where you guys are learn in 2023 and then you'll be so much better in 2024. I'm much more on the what do I have right now? What do I have right now? And Sam Hartman, I think the coaching staff would agree with me, is the better quarterback.
But he's won nothing.
So Okay. So Sam Hartman is the better quarterback in this group. Had he not been here, are you saying, Mike, that Notre Dame cannot go 10-2, 11-1, get to a New Year's Six with the quarterbacks they have? So so that's, to me, that's what this coaching staff truly believes. We can't win in 2023 with any of these quarterbacks. So Steve Angeli is going to go through a second spring, a whole fall camp. All this stuff. He was the backup this whole, the whole year behind Pine, getting varsity reps. He can't complete a pass still at Notre Dame.
Tim, I think the difference is, I think maybe they would feel good about Buckner as a 10-2 quarterback, but Hartman as a 12-0 guy.
And well, you know what?
Unbelievable.
And I hope it happens, because if not, then we are going to find out when they walk off the field in Stanford.
Hey, Singer, gun to your head, right? Gun to your head. What's our record in 2023 with Tyler Buckner? Just have fun. Play along. Play along, would you?
I need to pull up the schedule. I don't know, 9-3, 10-2, something like that.
Yeah, we'll go with 9-3. So what's our record in 2023 with Sam Hartman? Undefeated national champs, right?
I don't think that.
Okay, well, what is it?
Probably 11-1, 10-2.
So
Okay,
10,
so
2 games.
pause. Tim, please.
Okay, I get you.
So if we're gonna go 9-3 with Tyler, and we'll go, what'd you say?
10-2,
10-2?
11-1.
Okay, whatever. We'll go 11. For my argument, we'll go 10-2.
Okay.
We'll go 10-2 with Sam. Okay. So is that extra win worth starting over in 2024? That's the question.
But I'm not calling the shots. So I'm just telling you, like I think that's what Notre Dame's thinking from what I've been told.
Yeah.
I mean, just
it's going to be fascinating, man.
Because it's not just Hartman. It's not just Hartman on the football team. The quarterback position is obviously very important, but there's question marks all over the field. But
I don't mean to be like gang up on you here, man. But
no, dude, I am very much enjoying it.
But Goolsby, this is the thing with with a lot of the Notre Dame talking heads, where like so many people, especially on the message board when we chat with all the Notre Dame fans, is everyone just assumes they're 11-1, 12-0 with Hartman. Like who's he throwing it to? Seriously, who's he throwing? Are these wide receivers all of a sudden NFL guys? I mean. Yeah.
Well, I don't just ask who's Buckner throwing it to?
Exactly.
But it's another year of working and developing with these guys to get ready for 2024. And then D-line, and people want to talk about national championship. Do they not watch the teams that were in the Final Four this year? Does Notre Dame's D-line look like those teams? So these people that, we have Hartman, we're going to go beat everybody. Oh, okay. I'm a diehard Notre Dame fan. I hope they do. I hope we're celebrating like high heck this year. We'll be cheering and doing backflips and everything. Is this seriously a roster that Notre Dame has? It's going to go beat 2 SEC teams in the playoffs. Be real.
Tim, how is the roster, in your opinion, going to be better in 2024 versus 2023?
It's a whole nother year of playing together, a whole nother year of recruiting, a whole nother year of bringing in some more bodies, and just the whole culture and all that stuff. I'm telling you, I bet you $2 tonight that Notre Dame's going to bring in a transfer quarterback for 2020.
Hot take.
They are.
Hot take, Tim. I love it.
They are.
Tim, because next year that's what you want Notre Dame next year.
No. It's not about next year.
2024 is the class. Your next year.
Listen, how is Notre Dame going to place Buckner and Jelly Minchie Carr if they don't play him this year? All of a sudden next year they're 100 times better because they sat on the bench and watched a 25-year-old quarterback who's supposedly going to be teaching them. I mean, come on. If Notre Dame's not in the playoffs, Hartman's packing his bags midnight after the Stanford game. He's not playing in a bowl game sticking around. He's going to be down in Arizona training. He's a rental until Stanford.
I tell you, I just feel like this is fun, right?
It is fun.
It's great fodder.
It's fun.
But I was thinking about your boy Joe Alt, Mike, right?
Handsome guy.
And golly, is he good, dude?
Yes,
right? He's like a top 10 pick next year, right? And then, but you're like, how would you convince him to come back? Because he will have another year of eligibility. And it's like, he's so baby faced. I have a difficult time imagining him going into the NFL and blocking these defensive ends just because he's so young looking still, right? I don't know how old he is, right? But like, could you make an argument, Tim, to say, hey, look at what Tyler did in 2023. We're building for 2024. Joe, come on back. This is the year. Blake's coming back. I mean, you could make that case versus like, dude, I did it with Sam Hartman. I'm out. I'm not coming back to break in another quarterback. I mean, he's your best player on your team.
That's what Alabama
behind Sam Hartman, apparently.
Alabama did that in 2020. I mean, they had like 12 dudes all come back that could have went pro.
Because they had a quarterback they believed in, they could see the future with, or whatever. I mean, that's just a fun argument.
The Buckeyes on defense could have had 5-6 guys go NFL, and they all came back this year.
This whole discussion really is about like I'm on this year thing. Like I'm all about 2023. Focus on 2024 when it gets there. More on that side. Where you guys are thinking more of the 2-year plan. That's basically what it comes down to, right?
Well, that
I want to be in the.
Go ahead, Tim.
Hold on, because I want Notre Dame to be in the 12-team playoffs. Notre Dame's not going to go in the 12-team playoffs unless they're 11-1. People are like, oh, they'll go in at 12 or at 10-2. Not if those two losses are to the only ranked teams they play, like in 19 with Georgia and SC, they're not Michigan, they're not getting in. Notre Dame has to go 11-1, 12-0 to get it. That's my take.
My argument is just, again, don't anoint Sam Hartman, because then you completely discount anything that Tyler's done and the performance that he had in the bowl game, even with a couple boneheaded plays. Bear with me. I'm talking about like building a program under Coach Freeman. So like that's what I'm thinking about. Like, again, big picture is like we're going to build a program around our quarterback. Like, you know, like all these other marquee, they've got their stud quarterback for a year or two. He goes in the league, first round pick, and then we get another one. And we do the same thing over and over and over again. At some point, we got to like find a place to stand at the quarterback position. And I just tend to believe like the talent on the team, I think, will kind of mature and peak in 2024, where it's like we've got some serviceable guys that are starting now. But I think once Freeman's recruiting classes kind of get caught up, I just feel like you're really peaking towards 2024. I just believe that. I just don't think that the talent, like to Tim's point, like interior defensive line, a couple of our linebacker spots, like they're fine players, but they're not elite SEC championship type dudes. They're just not yet. And I think in 2024, we're incrementally closer to being there.